Hi chums, just race into position here. Okay, people have been asking me, how did you cut that shape? Well, what I was going to have to do was get some sort of drum sander, but I don't have a very big drum sander. There's the biggest one. I got flap disc there. I'll just bring it up close. That flap disc would be the biggest sander I have. So it would still do the job of sanding around here. But I needed something where I could do two sides at once. And that's 4 inches wide. So to get me started and then concentrate on each side. So I was looking around the workshop here and I suddenly remembered this boy here. Belt sander. And the belt sander allows me then that I can move that on the top of the belt sander where it's round. So I've got a round profile there which gives me whatever curve I want up here, and this is 4 inches wide, which is just perfect. So then once I was able to get started, I could then offer this up to the cone and see how it was fitting, and then go back and as I needed to adjust each side on this, come back, offer it up again, adjust it again. Now it took about over an hour to do that, so it's not a difficult job, but it's a time consuming job and you need patience for it. But if you're prepared to fettle something until it's almost perfect or perfect, it's not bad at all. It also means that there's no way you're going to cut that. You know, that's what, there's no way I'm going to cut that with a saw of any sort to get it as good as that to match. So this way you can work at the thing gently and ease your way in and finally get to a stage where you can stop and you're fitting the cone. Okay? So that's how I did it, just the end of a belt sander, and that gave me my profile, and then I was able to adjust the two sides to fit on the top and bottom part of the cone. So that's that done. Now, the next part was the cone. How did I cut the cone? You can see I've got a hole in the cone. So what I did there was I offered this up to the cone, and I drew a line around it. Now you can see the line on the thing there where I drew the line around the cone, and I cut just inside this line to allow me room to then enlarge this to make this larger to fit the pipe. But when I put the two together, they actually fit perfectly. So how I did that was I used one of these air tools that vibrates basically, and I was able to use that and then get into the hole and cut it with that there. This thing uses up a lot of air. My goodness, it took me a brave while to do this one cut. There's about a 40 centimeter, about 40 centimeter cut. What's that? About 4 feet. No, 30 centimeters. About 1.5 feet of a cut around that, I suppose. So it took a long time with that because this is really hungry for air, and I've only got a very small compressor, so I had to keep letting the compressor get built up again so it could feed this thing here. But this got me out of a hole. This cost about $30, about £15 or £18 in the Lidl's, which is the big company that does all the cheaper food and stuff from Europe, and their tools are superb. A lot of stuff is actually made in Germany, but this one here, I don't know where this is made. It's like Parkside is their standard, their trading name. Probably made in China, but it's very good. They're very good quality, and they have very good quality control. I went to Lidl one time to buy some drill bits for wood. They were Forstner bits, and when I arrived, there was a sign up saying the Forstner bits have been withdrawn because they did not pass our quality control tests, and they were never brought back again. So that really impressed me, that they were willing to take a product off the shelf because they weren't pleased with it themselves. So that was that. The next part is what I did yesterday, and this is what you saw on the lathe, was the disc for the top. Now as you can see, it's got, I'm going to hold it, it's got a beveled edge here, okay, because it has to go down inside the cone. So that will fit. That just fits in there nice and snug, okay, and it's beveled, so it means that I can drive a few screws through here and some glue, and that'll hold that. And then once that's plywood's hard to cut, really, really hard to cut. I've seen guys online on YouTube who make things out of plywood. They have my utter respect, because it is hard work. But it's done, and then I had to cut a centre hole. Now this isn't so bad because it's cutting this straight in with a parting tool, but you still, it was so, the bottom line is I have the grinder sitting beside me here, and I just left the grinder running. I didn't even bother turning it off because I did cut, grind, but it got the thing done. But will you see this? I'm really pleased. Where's my bit of pipe? I've lost my pipe, and I had it here. Yeah, there you go. So there we are, and that's had to be 100mm, right? So there it is, sliding through, and look, it just sits wherever you want it. There's no glue, no gaskets, nothing, and that's just sitting there. It's just a lovely, snug fit. So the beauty of that is that whenever I put this onto the cone, well, it's going to go onto the cone like this. What do we see now? Just get that in position, right? That's it on the cone now, right? What I can do is I can then adjust the height of this to get the optimum position for the pipe inside the cone. So it's going to look like this here, folks. That's for those who are asking where we're going with this. Oh, don't break on me. Oh, sorry about this. Right, live TV. Oh, don't work with children and animals and Brendan Mac. Right, so that's it, folks. That's what it's going to look like. There's your pipe in. That'll bring the dirt in, and then this pipe will take the dirt out, or take the clean air out, and then the stuff will fall down the cone to the bottom, and that'll be job done, hopefully. So as I say, I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased with this fit here. I was showing it off to my wife, who wasn't really impressed, because these things don't really interest her. But I thought to myself, this is wonderful, you know. So nothing in, and just to prove there's nothing in there that's acting as a gasket to make that run easier. There's the inside, you can see, oops, sorry, just plywood. So as I say, I'm very pleased with the way that went. So now, today's project is, what do I see now, just turn this up a wee bit. Today's project is to do the top of the blue barrel, and it's about a 23 inch cut, about almost 60 centimeters. So I'll cut that, but it's all mostly parting tool work, because to cut a rim I have to cut a rebate for the rim of the barrel, and I have to cut a hole in the centre for the cone to go in. But it's not that critical, but it's not that critical. I'll still put a bevel on the hole and everything, you know, because that's just the way I do things, you know. So it'll give it more support as well. Justify everything, can't you? So as I say, that's where we are now. I'm going to try and get the lid done today, and glue up's done maybe later on this evening. I've got my wee fire on. For Sineath, I think he calls himself. See, we would pronounce your name Sineath, because that's how it's pronounced in Irish. It would be Sineath. But Sineath was saying that 40 degrees was very cold. It's 34 degrees in here at the moment, and I haven't even got a hat on. That's how hard I am, Sineath, you know. No hat on. So, well, the reason is because it's down at the greenhouse getting the blue barrel, and it's making the fire up, and I'm getting too warm now. So anyway, that's where we are, folks. So lid today, glue up tomorrow. Well, maybe tonight and tomorrow, and then Michael's coming on Tuesday, and we'll build up the extractor and maybe get all this stuff connected up. I still have to move the lathe and different things. I don't really know where the stuff's going, but we'll get to that eventually, okay? So there you go, folks. That's how I cut the cone, and it's pretty easy, wasn't it? So all the best now. Bye bye.